Welcome. Allow one full breath to be received. Nothing needs to be summoned. Nothing needs to be adjusted. If you've been doing many of the right things and still feel tired inside, not lost, just tired, you're in the right place. There's nothing here to fix and nothing you need to maintain. Stay with the quiet for a moment. Let the body listen before the mind tries to understand. I'm Phi Thuy Nguyen. This podcast is an invitation to let unprocessed experience resolve, so inner pressure can soften and self-agency can return naturally. Nothing here needs to be learned or applied. You don't need to take notes or figure anything out. Let the words settle where they land. Let the body receive what it recognizes. Over time, through ordinary disappointments and quiet pain, I began to notice something simple and unsettling. I had been living as though peace and safety depended on things outside of me. Relationships, outcomes, approval, progress. And I could feel that each time I leaned on something external for stability, my inner authority went quiet. My inner state became conditional, reactive, unsteady. Not dramatic, not catastrophic, just a quiet, bone-deep knowing. I don't want to live like this anymore. What I didn't have language for then, but can name now, is this: inner coercion. An invisible pressure that said, fix yourself, manage yourself, become someone else, then you can rest. So I made an intention not to improve my life, not to become more spiritual, not to achieve anything, but to stop outsourcing my inner authority. To live from a place where peace wasn't negotiated, where my nervous system wasn't constantly bracing or chasing. In other words, self-agency. The ability to listen, wait, act, and rest from within. What followed were years of listening, unpacking conditioning, sometimes gently, sometimes through fire. I stopped pushing myself through emotions. I let what had been carried quietly resolve, so it didn't have to keep looping inside me. I learned to wait for clarity rather than force a decision just to stop the pressure. And I learned to trust intuition, not as an idea, but as a felt yes. With each resolution, something essential shifted. Most people aren't looking for liberation. We're not trying to escape life. We're not trying to transcend being human. We're simply looking for relief. Relief from the inner pressure that says, you should be further along. You should be more healed. You should be different by now. That's inner coercion. It's what drives us to fix ourselves, rush decisions, override our bodies, sometimes even spiritualize pain before it's ready. Self-agency is what returns when that pressure softens. My work isn't about becoming someone new. It's about relieving that pressure so agency can return naturally. So clarity can arise without force. So emotions can resolve without suppression. So life moves from alignment, not from push. Inner coercion can look like this. Resting but feeling guilty. Making a decision just to stop the anxiety. Telling yourself you should be over it. Forcing positivity while something still hurts. Overthinking intuition instead of trusting it. Feeling behind even when nothing is wrong. It's the sense that something inside you is always pushing. Do more. Fix this. Don't feel that. Hurry up. Self-agency feels different. It feels like choice instead of pressure. Listening instead of overriding. Movement in its own timing. Rest without justification. Love without defense. This podcast isn't about answers or strategies. It's a space to slow down, listen inwardly, and remember what happens when authority returns to where it belongs. If you feel quiet recognition as you listen, if something in you has been tired of being pushed from the inside, you're not broken. You're not behind. Something may simply be ready to soften. Let's pause. You don't need to apply this. You don't need to compare. Just notice, did anything inside you loosen, even slightly, when the pressure wasn't needed? If you've been doing many of the right things and still feel pressure, that doesn't mean you're failing. It may mean your system is remembering trust. You don't have to earn agency. You don't have to prove readiness. When pressure softens, clarity is there. And what's aligned moves on its own. If something in you settled while listening, let that be enough. And if at some point you want a quiet place to listen with someone, not to be fixed, not to be directed, but simply to sit with what's unfinished. There's space for that through the Clarity Compass call. Only when it feels right. Your own knowing is already present.